this fresh wave of uncertainty has proven once again that when there is a development in this pandemic, no matter how much talk there is prior about harmonization, about taking these decisions together, the reality is this. Countries will close their borders, flights will then be suspended, passengers will then be stranded, and they then need to figure out how they are going to move on from this. We know with Omicron and with the last 7 days being as turbulent as it has been, the scientists are telling governments that they need time to assess what this variant is, and as a result, the aviation and travel sector has no choice but to play ball. But as you said, there is a fresh wave of uncertainty here for a sector that is only just starting to recover and has a very busy period ahead of it, being the Christmas and New Year rush.
So you mentioned there that they have no choice, but how quickly could the industry then rebound?
Well, the reality is this. If the scientists are to come forward and say that the Omicron variant is no worse than the other variants, then the industry's hope is that everything will bounce back to pandemic normal. So that's what we're already used to, the vaccination certificates, the PCR testing, but mostly no quarantine and this pattern of more countries opening up. What we're seeing is everything trending in the wrong direction right now. Today, South Korea becoming the latest country in Asia to implement quarantine for every single arrival. You've got countries that are doing case-by-case situations. Switzerland enforcing quarantine on UK arrivals. Spain banning any Brits that are not vaccinated. Portugal bringing back the PCRs. It's all a patchy picture, and that recovery will only become clearer when we know what direction this is actually going to trend towards once there is more data about Omicron.
So Alex, just briefly then, if trends are going in the wrong direction, as you pointed out, what about then for passengers with these extra restrictions, with PCR tests, quarantines? Are you seeing cancellations?
Well, there are not only cancellations, but there's a lot of kind of skepticism as to how anyone can make any confirmed travel plans when countries are making such last-minute decisions. My advice to travelers throughout this entire pandemic hasn't changed. Make sure you're booking anything on very flexible terms so that you can take your bookings into your own hands, because we're seeing time and time again that countries and governments are not giving notice. They are making these decisions that have direct impact on passengers. And as I say, this is the time of year where people are heading back to their families and so on, traveling all across the globe. It couldn't have come as a worse time, but at the moment, it is what it is.